What if I told you a single discovery could connect ancient Persia to the Bible's most mysterious prophecies and might even reveal your role in the greatest story ever told? Stay with me, because by the end, you'll see why this discovery changes everything we know about history, faith, and the future. A storm brews over a vast desert as ancient scrolls are unearthed in a forgotten cave. Among them is a prophecy hinting at Persia's divine role. A scholar, Dr. Elias, stumbles upon the discovery. With trembling hands, he deciphers the cryptic words that link Persia to the lineage of Noah and the ultimate redemption of humankind. The scene shifts to a vision of Cyrus the Great walking through an ethereal temple, his footsteps echoing with purpose. The scroll glows as if alive, hinting at its connection to the divine. Dr. Elias brings the scrolls to his research center, where a detailed analysis reveals they date back to the early post-flood era. Ancient genealogical diagrams link Noah's son Japheth to Mede, the progenitor of Persia. As Elias delves deeper, he is struck by the intricate connections between these ancient figures and the biblical prophecies. A vivid dream shows Noah's family dispersing after the flood, with Mede's descendants traveling eastward toward the Persian plateau, laying the foundation for a powerful empire. The narrative shifts to the meteoric rise of Cyrus the Great. The young leader is portrayed as a visionary uniter of tribes, combining military strategy and diplomacy. His campaigns bring together the Medes and Persians under one banner. Meanwhile, the prophet Isaiah pens his prophecies, foretelling Cyrus's role over a century before his birth. The segment ends with Cyrus standing on a mountain ridge, gazing at his sprawling empire. In 539 BC, the walls of Babylon stand tall, thought to be impregnable. Inside, King Belshazzar hosts a lavish feast, unaware that Cyrus the Great's Persian army is preparing to conquer. As the Persians divert the Euphrates to march under the walls, a mysterious hand appears in the palace, writing Mean, Tekel, a parson on the wall. Daniel interprets the message: Babylon's end is near, and Persia will rise. That night, the city falls, fulfilling ancient prophecies. Cyrus enters Babylon as its new ruler, marking a divinely ordained shift in power. Freshly victorious, Cyrus's first significant act solidifies his unique legacy in biblical history. The prophet Isaiah had written, over 150 years earlier, of a man named Cyrus who would restore God's people. Isaiah 44:28. The narrative shows Cyrus standing in Babylon's grand throne room, receiving petitions from various exiled peoples. Among them are the Jewish leaders, presenting their case for returning to their homeland. Inspired by divine dreams and a personal sense of justice, Cyrus issues the decree: the Jews may return to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple of their God. The scene shifts to the Jewish community in Babylon, where joy mingles with tears. Families prepare for the arduous journey back to a city in ruins. Priests chant ancient psalms of hope as caravans of people and supplies gather. The decree is celebrated not merely as a political act, but as the fulfillment of Jeremiah's prophecy of a 70-year exile. Jeremiah 29:10. The narrative intersperses scenes of the long journey with flashbacks of the destruction of Jerusalem, contrasting despair with renewed hope. Years of labor follow Cyrus's decree. Zerubbabel, the governor of Judah, and Joshua, the high priest, lead the returning exiles in rebuilding Jerusalem's temple. The narrative vividly describes the desolation of Jerusalem when they arrive: overgrown ruins, scattered stones, and the haunting memory of its destruction. The scene shifts to the construction efforts, where every brick laid feels like a step toward redemption. Conflict arises as neighboring groups oppose the rebuilding, attempting to sabotage their efforts. Haggai and Zechariah, prophets of encouragement, deliver stirring messages from God. Be strong, all you people of the land, and work, for I am with you. Haggai 2:4. Their words ignite hope among the builders. The story climaxes with the laying of the temple's foundation, marked by a grand ceremony where priests blow trumpets and the people sing, "He is good, His love toward Israel endures forever." Tears of joy and sorrow mix as the elders remember the grandeur of Solomon's temple, now replaced by a humbler version. In the grandeur of the Persian Empire during the reign of Xerxes I, a Jewish orphan named Hadassah, Esther, is thrust into an unexpected destiny. The narrative begins with Mordecai, her guardian, urging her to participate in a royal beauty contest where Xerxes seeks a new queen. Reluctantly, she agrees, concealing her Jewish identity. The story shifts to the palace's opulent halls, where Esther's intelligence and grace captivate Xerxes, leading to her coronation. Parallel to her rise, a sinister plot emerges. Haman, an ambitious court official, seeks to annihilate the Jewish people after Mordecai refuses to bow to him. The tension escalates as Mordecai persuades Esther to intercede, delivering the iconic line, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" The climactic moment in Esther's story unfolds as she courageously reveals her Jewish identity to King Xerxes. Haman's plot is exposed, and the Jews are saved. The dramatic reversal of fortune leads to the institution of the Festival of Purim. The segment ends with Esther preparing for her life-threatening audience with the king, her resolve bolstered by 3 days of fasting and prayer. In Babylon, Daniel interprets King Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the great statue, where the silver chest represents Persia. Later, Daniel's vision of the ram with 2 horns symbolizes the combined strength of the Medes and Persians. The narrative underscores Persia's divinely orchestrated rise as a powerful empire. Daniel records his visions, their significance weighing heavily on him as he prays for understanding. The Persian Empire expands under Cyrus and later Darius I, encompassing vast territories including Israel, Egypt, and parts of Greece. The narrative paints a vivid picture of the empire's infrastructure, the royal road, towering palaces, and the administrative brilliance that allowed for diverse cultures to coexist. It emphasizes how Persia's policies laid the groundwork for the spread of Judaism and eventually Christianity. After years of hardship, the Second Temple is completed, fulfilling God's promise. The narrative focuses on the emotional journey of the returning exiles. Scenes of workers laboring tirelessly under the sun are interspersed with moments of reflection and prayer. The elders, who witnessed Solomon's temple, shed tears at the sight of the new structure. Though simpler, the Second Temple represents resilience and renewal. During the dedication ceremony, the priests blow trumpets, and the people sing praises, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, his love endures forever." The narrative zooms in on key figures like Zerubbabel, the governor, and Joshua, the high priest, as they lead the proceedings. The climax showcases the temple's altar glowing as sacrifices are offered, signifying the restoration of Israel's spiritual connection to God. Daniel's prophecy of the goat defeating the ram comes to life centuries later. Alexander the Great, representing the goat, leads a swift campaign against Persia. The narrative highlights the fall of the Achaemenid dynasty, showcasing scenes of battle and diplomacy. Persepolis, the jewel of Persia, is burned, symbolizing the end of an era. Yet, the story underscores how Persia's cultural influence endures, with Alexander adopting Persian customs and marrying a Persian princess. The segment explores the tension between destruction and assimilation, highlighting God's sovereignty over empires. After the conquest, Alexander integrates Persian culture into his empire. The narrative shifts to scenes of cultural exchange. Greek scholars study Zoroastrian texts, while Persian architecture influences Hellenistic designs. Despite its fall, Persia's legacy continues to shape the ancient world. The story reflects on how God's plan allows even a fallen empire to impact history positively. Centuries later, the Magi, a group of Persian scholars, begin their journey, guided by the star heralding the Messiah. The narrative describes their preparation, interpreting ancient prophecies and following celestial signs. The Magi's reverence for divine truth bridges the gap between Persia's past and the birth of Christ. As they kneel before the infant Jesus, their gifts symbolize recognition of his kingship, priesthood, and sacrifice. The narrative explores Persia's role in end-times prophecy, focusing on Ezekiel 38 to 39. As part of a coalition against Israel, Persia's involvement signifies its continued spiritual significance. The segment paints a vivid picture of a climactic battle, with divine intervention reshaping the world. The story emphasizes God's ultimate control over nations and his promise of redemption for all. If you could step back in time to witness just one moment, Cyrus walking into Babylon, the Magi kneeling before the infant Jesus, or the laying of Jerusalem's second temple foundation, what would you choose? Let us know in the comments, and see if your moment matches the most popular answer. The prophecy of Ezekiel unfolds as a coalition of nations, including Persia, prepares to march against Israel. The narrative vividly describes the ominous preparations. Soldiers gather under dark skies, ancient alliances are reforged, and supernatural signs appear in the heavens. Amidst the chaos, Israel stands as a beacon of hope and resilience. The segment foreshadows divine intervention, with celestial forces ready to alter the tide of the battle. As the war begins, natural disasters and divine forces intervene. The ground shakes, splitting the advancing armies, and a mysterious fire descends from the heavens. This segment portrays the awe-inspiring power of divine protection over Israel, echoing the Old Testament accounts of miraculous deliverance. Amidst the chaos, Ezekiel's vision of Israel's restoration comes to life. The Valley of Dry Bones rises, symbolizing the renewal of Israel. Persia's role transitions from an adversary to an observer of divine power, as nations witness the miraculous regathering of Israel under God's covenant. The narrative reflects on Persia's role in biblical prophecy, emphasizing its duality as both a tool of divine purpose and a force of opposition. The story highlights the sovereignty of God over history, showing how each nation and empire fits into his eternal plan. A celestial vision of a golden timeline stretching across history underscores this segment. Returning to the Magi's journey, their reverence for the newborn Jesus symbolizes Persia's enduring role in recognizing divine truth. The segment delves into their cultural wisdom, exploring how Persian spirituality intertwined with biblical prophecy to bring them to Bethlehem. The spread of Christianity is explored, highlighting Persia's influence on early Christian thought and the exchange of religious ideas along trade routes. This segment discusses the resilience of Christian communities within Persia under Zoroastrian rule, framing them as vital to the survival of the faith. Beyond religion, Persia's contributions to governance, culture, and science are highlighted. The segment delves into the administrative brilliance of the Achaemenid Empire, its tolerance policies, and its influence on the Roman and Byzantine empires. The fall of the Persian Empire to Islamic conquests is portrayed, reflecting on the cyclical nature of empires. The narrative underscores that Persia's cultural and spiritual influence persisted, even as political power waned. The narrative connects biblical themes to modern-day Iran's political and religious tensions. The focus is on the nation's complex history as both a center of innovation and a site of conflict, hinting at its prophetic role in end-times events. Modern Iran's geopolitical struggles are juxtaposed with Ezekiel's end-times prophecy. The nation's alliances, particularly its tensions with Israel, mirror the biblical descriptions of Persia joining a coalition against God's people. The narrative explores Iran's dual identity as a cradle of civilization and a player in apocalyptic scenarios. Diplomats meet behind closed doors, their discussions fueled by ancient rivalries and strategic ambitions, while ordinary citizens go about their lives, caught between history and destiny. Amid political tension, a spiritual awakening quietly grows within Iran. Underground churches and secret gatherings reflect the resilience of faith in a challenging environment. The segment portrays individuals reading the Bible in hidden corners, their faces lit by candlelight, as echoes of Persia's biblical past stir their hope for a divine plan unfolding. The story revisits the lives of Esther and Cyrus, highlighting the similarities between their courage and the aspirations of modern Iranians for freedom and truth. It reflects on how their divine purpose continues to inspire, implying that God's influence is still present in Persia. A montage of ancient events transitions into modern scenes, symbolizing the timeless themes of redemption and restoration. As global events unfold, scholars revisit the Bible's prophecies, aligning them with modern developments in the Middle East. Iran's role in Ezekiel's coalition against Israel becomes a focal point, sparking debates among theologians and political analysts. This segment blends the scholarly with the spiritual, examining how ancient texts continue to resonate today. The narrative crescendos with rising global tension. Iran's alliances grow stronger and its influence expands, fulfilling aspects of biblical prophecy. The segment depicts a coalition of nations assembling, their leaders driven by ambition and ancient grudges. The spiritual battle intensifies as prayers rise from across the world for peace and divine intervention. The narrative ends with a powerful vision of God's sovereignty. Divine intervention defeats the coalition of nations, and Israel rises as a restored nation under God's covenant. Persia's significance in biblical prophecy is fully revealed, emphasizing its unique place in God's plan. The closing scene shows a radiant city on a hill, symbolizing hope and redemption, as ancient scrolls burn with holy light, their prophecies fulfilled. From ancient prophecies fulfilled to the secrets of Persia's enduring legacy, today we've seen how history, faith, and destiny intertwine in ways that still resonate. If this journey inspired or challenged you, share your thoughts in the comments because every perspective adds to the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who loves history as much as you do. Together, let's keep uncovering the truths that shape our world.